Hello and welcome to today's tutorial. So in today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to do the granny square. So this granny square is called the Sunburst granny square, which I'm going to be doing for today's tutorial. This is what I made out of using those granny squares for the Sunburst granny square. So I decided to make a lovely little bag, which is really handy for loads of things. You can get this pattern in a description box below if you wanted to get that pattern. But for today's tutorial I'm just going to show you how to do the granny square itself, and then you can use that granny square for any other project that you want to use it for. So for making these granny squares, they are really quick and easy to do, and they are great for using up your scraps. So for me, I'm going to be using DK yarn today to show you how to do this granny square. So depending on the yarn that you're going to use is going to determine on what hook size you're going to use, and you're also going to need some scissors and a tapestry needle for this granny square. So for this granny square, it is made of 4 rounds. So for the first round, the centre is going to be done in double crochets. The next round is going to be done in puff stitches, and then the following round after that again is going to be a cluster stitch, and then the very last round, that is where we make the actual square. So as I mentioned before, I am going to be using a DK yarn. So for the yarn that I'm going to be using in DK, I'm going to be using a size 5mm crochet hook. So just be mindful what hook size you use for the yarn that you're going to be using today. So to begin, you want to start by making a magic ring. So make your magic ring however you make yours. Once you've made your magic ring, you then want to do a chain of 3. So once you've got your chain of 3, that's going to count as your very first stitch, and we're going to do 15 double crochets into this magic ring. So this chain of 3 is going to count as a stitch, so equally you will have 16 stitches at the end of this round. So yarn over your hook and insert into the loop, going through, making sure you do a crochet over this tail, and then you're going to pull the yarn through, and then you're going to yarn over the hook, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over again and pull through the last 2, and repeat that all the way around. So 15 double crochets. And once I've reached my last double crochet, I will come back and show you how to move on to the next round. So this is what it's going to look like at the end of the first round, and make sure you do actually have 16 stitches all the way around. Just make sure you turn your work slightly and just count those stitches all the way around, and making sure that chain 3 you include that as well as a stitch. So once you've got the correct amount of stitches in that round, you can then happily just close this centre ring just by pulling the back. So you'll see that short tail, just pull, and that will close the centre, and then we can fasten this off ready for the next round. So the way to do that is you want to slip stitch into the top of your chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, going into the top of that thread chain and make a slip stitch. So once you've made a slip stitch, chain 1 and simply just cut a bit of yarn. And just pull that through. And now we're ready to move on to round 2. Okay, so now we're ready to move on to round 2, which is the puff stitch. I like to change colours for each round. That is optional, you don't have to do that. You can do a solid colour if you wanted. So to do round 2, we're now going to insert the hook next to where we fastened off. So we fastened off here. I'm going to go into this stitch here, and I'm going to just place my yarn over my hook and pull the new yarn through, and we're going to make a chain of 2. Yarn over your hook and insert into the same stitch. Here I like to work over this tail. So you insert your hook, pull the yarn through, you've got 3 loops on the hook, yarn over again and insert into the same stitch and pull up a loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to do that again. Yarn over, insert in the same stitch and pull up a loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So when you've got 7 loops on your hook, you can pull through all of these 7 loops. And the best way to do that is make sure your hook is facing down so it doesn't get caught as you're pulling it through all those loops. Pull through the loops and do a chain 1 to secure. So then you're going to move on to the next stitch, and be careful not to miss a stitch. This is quite tricky sometimes if you're new to this, because sometimes that can hide the stitch slightly. So all you want to do is yarn over, just gently pull it back slightly, and just make sure you do work over that tail, or if not, you can leave that tail hanging and you can secure that in later, whichever you choose. Yarn over the hook and pull through loop, and in again to the same stitch, and yarn over again into the same stitch, and you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pull through all 7 loops and chain 1. I'm going to do that one more time. Yarn over your hook, insert into the next stitch, yarn over 3 loops, yarn over, insert, pull through, and one more time. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and pull through all of those loops and chain 1. And keep repeating like that all the way around, and I'll be back to show you how to move on to the next round. Okay, so I've just reached the end of this round and I've got 16 puff stitches in total all the way around. So do make sure you count each puff stitch around, making sure you have 16 before moving on. So now we're going to join this round by doing a slip stitch, and we're going to work a slip stitch in between these 2 puffs. So all you want to do is insert your hook in between those two puffs, pull your yarn through and pull through again to make a slip stitch, and then chain 1 and cut your yarn. And then we can now move on to the next round. So for this next round, for round 3, is going to be the cluster round, which is the 4 double crochets together. So insert your hook in between 2 of those puff stitches and pick up your next colour yarn, and then you're going to place that over your hook and just simply pull through and chain 2. So what I like to do here on this round, I will not crochet over this tail, I will sew that in later at the end. So I'm going to yarn over my hook. This chain 2 actually acts as a stitch. So now I'm going to yarn over, insert into this same stitch where we just came from, and you're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over again, and then pull through 2. Yarn over, insert, and pull through 2 again. And then we're going to pull through all of those loops and chain 2. So now we're going to move on to the next space in between the 2 puffs. Yarn over your hook, insert and pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, insert and pull through 2. And just going to keep working like this, where we just pull through the first 2 loops. And we do that until we have 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then pull through all of those loops, chain 2. And then we go into the next space in between the 2 puffs. So yarn over your hook, I'll show you that one more time. So yarn over your hook, insert and pull through. 2 loops on the hook, pull through 2, yarn over, insert and then pull through 2, yarn over, insert it again and then pull through 2. And lastly you're going to do that again, and you've got 4 double crochets, well nearly double crochets, half finished, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to complete that by going through all those loops and chaining 2. So just going to keep repeating that all the way around, and I will come back when we're ready to move on to the next round. So if you do get stuck, just make sure you count, you've got 4 double crochets before moving on. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then when you're happy, do your chain 2 and work into the next space. So I'm at the end of round 3, I've got 1 more to go, so I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to just make 1 more into this last space for my clusters, and then we're ready to close that up and chain 2, and then we're going to slip stitch into that space, into that first chain space, and make a slip stitch and then chain 1 and fasten off. And then when you're happy, you can then attach on your next colour. And for my next colour, you can go anywhere you want for your next colour. So insert your hook again and place the yarn over your hook, and then you're going to do a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So for this last round we are going to make this turn into the square. So the way that's going to work is I will get my first piece just to show you. So we're going to have 3 treble, a chain 2 and then a 3 treble all in one space. That's going to be the first corner. Then we're going to do 3 double crochets, then we do 3 half double crochets, then we go back to 3 doubles, and then we go back to the next corner, which is 3 trebles and then a chain 2 and then 3 trebles, again all in that same stitch for your next corner. So I'm just showing you that now before we begin, so you get the idea of what we're actually going to be doing for this round. So as I said, to begin you want to do a chain of 4, which is your first treble. Now you're going to yarn over your hook twice. Insert your hook into that same stitch and pull up a loop, and you're going to pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the next 2, and yarn over and pull through the next 2. So that's our first treble made and our chain 4, which totals to 2 stitches. Yarn over twice and insert again. And we're going to pull through the first 2, pull through the first 2, and then pull through the last 2. So then we've got 3, and then we're going to do a chain of 2, and we're going to do that again. So we're going to make 3 trebles into that same stitch. So yarn over twice and pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over twice, insert and pull through 2, 2 and 2, and last time. And that's how your first corner will look. And then into the next chain space is going to be 3 double crochets. So yarn over once and insert it into the next space and pull through 2, pull through 2. And that is 3 double crochets. Next you're going to do 3 half double crochets. So for a half double crochet, you yarn over your hook, insert into the next space, pull up your yarn through, and then you're going to yarn over your hook and pull through all 3 loops. So that's 1, and then pull through all 3 loops for 2, insert and pull through loops again. So you've got 3 half doubles. So as I was saying before, 3 trebles, chain 2, 3 trebles, 3 doubles, 3 halves, and then we're going to go back to the doubles. So now we're going to yarn over into the next chain space and make 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and then 3. Next is going to be the corner. So yarn over twice and make 3 trebles. So that's 2 trebles. And then 3 trebles. Chain 2. Yarn over twice. Treble 1. Treble 2, treble 3, and then you can stop and take a look at your work and see how that is actually forming, just so you can see. 1 corner, 2 corner, now we're back to 3 doubles and 3 halves. 1 double, 2 double, 3 double. Next is going to be the half. Yarn over, insert into the next space and pull through all 3 loops. 1, 2 and 3, and back to double. And I'm going to stop here, and then I'll be back when I get to the end of this round, because I'm sure you will know that the next is going to be your corner. So for the next, because you've got 3 double, 3 halves, 3 double, and then it is going to be 3 treble, chain 2, 3 treble, yarn over twice for your treble, and make 3. That's 1, 2, and then 3. Chain 2 and repeat that again into that same stitch, and I will be back when I get back round to here. Okay, so I've just finished with a 3 double crochet, and now I'm going to do a slip stitch into the top of that chain 4 that we initially started with. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and make a slip stitch into the top of that chain 4 and make a chain 1, and then simply pull that through. I've already cut my yarn, so I did that before, and then just pull that through and cut your yarn. So that is the end of the actual initial granny square for the Sunburst flower square. And as I said, if you do want to use this for the bag that I made for the bee's knees bag, the pattern for that is in the description of this tutorial, and that's it. So have a nice day. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial, and I'll be back soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.